Hey guys, welcome back to another divine vlog slash video. In today's video, I'm gonna be talking about why being a bitch is a skillful benefit as a girl, as a woman, or it can be if you know how to use it. I'm not saying being mean is okay, or being a bully, or being a bitch is okay in general. No, I'm just saying it's a helpful skill to have in today's society, especially when everyone is against us. Everyone is against women, especially women. So I just literally thought of all of this in like 1 minute. I just wrote them all down because I was just thinking the other day, like, because I think somebody told me that I could be a bitch sometimes, and I was like, girl, I'm nice to you like 99% of the time, and when I decide to talk back, or when I don't like your joke or whatever, whenever I get offended by whatever you say and I defend myself, I'm a bitch all of a sudden. Like, no, I'm just not stupid, you know? You gotta learn how to defend yourself in this harsh society, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people want to make YouTube videos and want to upload videos in general on their social medias, but they're too scared of criticism and all these trolls and mean people on the internet. So yeah, you gotta learn how to have some thick skin. So reason number one why it's a skill to be a bitch. Don't mind my hair, it's all puffy. If you have curly hair, then you understand the struggle of trying to be someone that you're not. But okay, number one, people won't try to take advantage of you as much if they think that you're a bitch. And what I mean by that is, when people see you as that little weak, I'm not saying that being nice is weak, but a lot of times being nice, it gets confundido. How do you say it? Lo confunden. It gets confused by being weak, like when you're nice. It's usually the nicest person that always has to do everything. Like, for example, in a school project, the nicest girl in the group is always gonna end up doing everything or most of the work, because people are like, ay, pobrecita, like she's just like the nice one. But if you're not la pobrecita, weak one, then when a girl or when these bitches try to take advantage of you, you're gonna stand up for yourself and you're gonna be like, I don't think so. Like, we're all gonna do this shit equal and no one's gonna take advantage of no one. Even when it comes to like work and stuff, like people will find it easier to ask for favors when you're the nice weak one, when they know that you're not gonna say no because you got that bitchiness to you. No one's gonna ask you for as many favors because they're gonna be afraid that you're gonna say no. But when you're not that bitch, people are just always gonna assume that you're always gonna say yes and you're always gonna be down to do favors for them. So yeah, that's one skill. Number two, when you're a bitch, most men won't see you as an easy target. And what I mean by that is, you're kind of more unapproachable, which it could be a good and a bad thing, but at the same time, like, half the time we don't want these men to even come up to us. Like, when you're that girl, you know what you want. You know the type of man that you want to be approached by, and it's easier to give off the vibe that I don't want to be talked to, don't talk to me. Like, yeah, when you're not that bitch, any ugly or non-desirable or asshole slash fuckboy When you're not that bitch, the douchebags will find you as an easier target. Like, you will have miserable men coming up to you all the time because they just see you as like, oh, well, she looks like a little pendejita, like I'ma just go up to her and shoot my shot with her. And honestly, it gets really boring and it gets really annoying to have to reject men all the time and have to be like, no, get away from me. Especially when it comes to like those men that just won't take no for an answer and are so insistent, even though you're literally like, get the fuck away from me. If you're not a bitch and you don't know how to be like, I'm not fucking interested, like, get the fuck away from me, then you're gonna have a hard time everywhere you go. Whenever you go out to public places, you're just gonna struggle with that. You need to learn how to build that character, that bitchiness that will help you in these situations when you need to tell people to fuck off, especially broke men. Okay, number 3, if you're, for some reason, when you're a bitch, other women tend to respect you more for some weird reason. Like, no one's gonna try some shady shit with you because they know, oh no, she's a bitch. Like, she will tell you something. Like, don't even try to like, don't even try that joke on her because it's gonna backfire. And you'll avoid yourself a lot of humiliation and embarrassing, awkward moments with people because you don't have to put them in their place, you know, when, because if you're a girl, you know, a lot of times girls are other girls' biggest enemies. Like, I don't know why women think that we're all enemies to each other and we can't just be friends, but it's the sad reality. And a lot of girls are mean, and if you don't know how to use this bitchiness skill, these mean girls will come for you. They will see you as that target to try to look better or try to make themselves look above you, especially when there's other men around. And you need to learn how to put these bitches in their place so that they know that you're not that bitch. Like, you're not gonna be their little pendejita or their little experiment. Like, no, that just doesn't work with me, because every girl has gone through a situation like that where there's always that one mean girl, like genuinely mean girl, that just wants to put others down to make herself feel higher. And it will happen to you, trust me, at least once, because these snakes are everywhere. So you need to learn how to give that bitchy energy so that these dumb bitches know not to mess with you, because you're not that girl. Number 4, when you have a bitchy mentality, you just become harder to manipulate. Even if deep down your dumbass is being manipulated, people will not perceive you as that. Like, I think it's more specific when it comes to men, because, you know, men love to manipulate women, but they know that there's a percentage of women that cannot be manipulated, and you want to be that percentage of women, because for some reason men think that they are masters of manipulation. Little do they know it's us. Little do they know they're manipulated on a daily basis by not even just women, society. So you gotta learn how to give out that bitch energy. Like, you're not gonna manipulate me right now. Like, if I'm telling you that I don't like this, it's for a reason. You did something wrong. You need to man up to it, and don't even try to manipulate me. You gotta give him that attitude, that energy. Let him know that you are not that girl and that he is not gonna manipulate you, because you know better. You gotta give him that sassiness, that bitchiness. Because if you're always that understanding girl, they're gonna know that it's so easy for you to be that understanding girl, and you're always gonna be like, okay, I accept your apology, it's fine, lie to me again, cheat on me. That's just the energy that they're gonna get in their heads, because they're men, and they always use their brain second. So sorry, man, it's the reality. Anyways, for the last point, key point number 5, the last reason. When you're a bitch, okay, you avoid more mistakes by saying no, because it's just so easy to say no when you have that bitch mentality. One good example. A lot of times we find it hard as women to, because we're such nice, beautiful souls, beautiful angels of the Lord. So a lot of times it's very hard for us to say no, even when it comes to like our own family members, our boyfriends, or even our friends. Like anytime they want to hang out, anytime there's plans involved and you really don't want to go, like, you know in your heart, like, I just don't want to show up, and you just showing up because you feel pressure to, it's like the worst thing ever. So learning how to say no, that's a skill in itself. You know, you have to learn how to say no. And who is better at saying no? Bitches. You know, your boss tells you if you could stay another hour or two, or if you can come in on your day off, you have to learn how to say no. I'm sorry, I can't. I have commitments. I have shit to do, you know? Or when people want you to do such out-of-pocket favors that they're last minute, and it's just like, girl, you can literally do this yourself. Especially if you have a sister and your sister thinks that because you're her sister, you're her own personal slave. You have to learn how to say no, because a lot of the times these favors are like ridiculous. Like, girl, no, I don't want to. I don't feel like walking your dog. Like, you walk it. Okay, you're on your period. I'm sorry. You just have to learn how to say no. Another example, like you're on a date with a guy and it's already like 1 o'clock and you're just sitting in his car, and the conversation is basically not going anywhere anymore, and he's probably waiting for you to give it up, and you guys are just both wasting your time because in the back of your mind you're like, I'm not gonna give it up and nothing's gonna happen tonight. You gotta learn how to say no, or you gotta learn how to say, can you take me home, it's getting late, instead of staying there and like looking bored and looking miserable waiting for him to read your mind. You gotta learn how to speak for yourself. And being a bitch is the only way that you're gonna get out of weird situations like that, because situations like that, there's so many. Another example, you're on a date. It's the first time that you guys met. That shit is boring. You guys are both bored out of your fucking minds, have nothing to talk about, have nothing in common. Not just that, the guy doesn't even look like the picture, and you're such a nice soul, such a nice girl, that you don't want to hurt his feelings. You don't know how to tell him, hey, I'm leaving, like, I'm not about to spend 40 minutes doing this and expecting, because nowadays men expect you to do 50-50. No. Like, if he's not giving anything, you shouldn't give anything either, just because you don't want to be bored. You gotta learn how to say, look, I'm sorry, I don't want to seem like a bitch, but I'm kind of gonna go home. Like, this is not the vibe for me. And the only way you're gonna be able to do all these things is if you learn the skill of learning how to be a bitch. That's it. It's so easy and so convenient, but don't get it twisted. Being a bitch doesn't mean you're a horrible person and you're a mean person. You still gotta be a kind, beautiful soul, loving, and everything that comes with being a good human. You just gotta learn when to use this beautiful skill. Actually, really hard skill, because it's very hard to develop when you're already stuck in that weak mentality, or like that weird mentality of like always wanting to be nice and always saying yes to everything. I'm not saying to be a total horrible person, just learn the skill, and that's it. That's all for today's video. Thank you for watching, and let me know if you think this video was ridiculous and pointless, or if you want more ridiculous advice.